There's a recording of it somewhere. Not a literal recording, no one thought the moment was important enough to document. But in my head, it plays back with the clarity of security footage. Front door. Late afternoon light. My mother standing slightly behind my father as if this were his decision alone, though we all knew it wasn't. One duffel bag at my feet, my 18th birthday cake still half eaten on the kitchen counter. "You're an adult now?" my father said. Calm, measured, almost instructional. "Figure it out. No yelling, no tears, no dramatic ultimatum. Just a conclusion delivered like a policy update. If I could freeze that memory and annotate it like a documentary, I would circle the tone. That's what mattered most. It wasn't rage. It was detachment. The kind that suggests you've already been written off. I didn't beg. That part still surprises people when I tell them. They expect a fight, but I didn't argue. I picked up the duffel bag and mentally cataloged its contents: 2 jeans, 3 shirts, my high school diploma, a phone charger, $83 in cash. Inventory felt safer than emotion. Outside the air felt colder than it should have. I remember thinking, this is adulthood. 2. The first year was not inspiring. I worked mornings unloading delivery trucks at a grocery store and nights wiping down tables at a diner. I slept in a rented room that smelled faintly of bleach and someone else's perfume. I learned quickly that being technically an adult and being prepared for adulthood were different species. I didn't call home. Not because I hated them, I just didn't see the point. They'd made their position clear. This was a test, apparently. And I intended to pass it. Community college came next, 1 class at a time. I paid in installments. I kept a spreadsheet of every expense down to the dollar. I built credit the way some people build friendships, cautiously, deliberately, expecting betrayal. Meanwhile, my younger brother stayed at home. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't malicious. He was simply comfortable. When I saw photos online, birthday dinners, holiday trips, he looked relaxed. Supported. Still, finding himself, at 23, at 25, at 27. No one told him to figure it out. I told myself it didn't matter. What I didn't admit, even to myself, was that a part of me still wanted acknowledgement. Not money. Not an apology. Just recognition that what happened wasn't neutral. Years passed. I transferred to a state university. Finished my degree. Took a job that paid modestly but consistently. I saved aggressively. I declined vacations. I said no to things that might have made life easier socially but harder financially. When I signed the closing documents for my house, I didn't cry. The place wasn't large. 2 bedrooms. A narrow backyard, floors that creaked if you stepped in the wrong place. But it was mine. Every nail, every hinge. Ownership did something subtle to my posture. I stood straighter inside those walls. That's when my parents started reaching out. At first, it was small things. Texts on holidays. A comment about how proud they were of how independent I'd become. Then came more frequent calls. Invitations. An increasing warmth that felt slightly rehearsed. My brother had gotten married. They were expecting a child. He needs stability. My mother said during one call, "It's hard out there." I agreed, it was hard out there. I didn't connect the dots until the day they showed up at my door. They didn't call first. I opened it to find both of them standing on my porch, dressed neatly, carrying the kind of seriousness people bring to legal discussions. They didn't come inside right away. My father looked past me, taking in the house with a slow nod. "You've done well," he said. It wasn't praise. It was assessment. We sat at my small dining table. My mother folded her hands. My father leaned forward. "Your brother's lease is ending," he began. "With the baby coming, it doesn't make sense for him to keep renting." I waited. "We've been talking," my mother added, "and it just seems right that this house should go to him. He has a family now." The sentence landed without drama. No raised voices. Just expectation. I asked them to clarify. "You're strong," my father said. "You proved you can start from nothing. He's different. He needs a foundation. Family comes first." There it was. The phrase, "family comes first." I let the silence stretch. Not as a tactic, just because I needed to hear how it sounded in the room. "You want me to give him my house," I said finally. "Transfer it," my mother corrected gently. "It would still be in the family." "And where would I live?" "You'll figure it out," my father said. The symmetry of it almost impressed me. For a moment, a brief, uncomfortable one, I felt 18 again. Small, cornered, evaluated. The conditioning is strong when it's installed early, but this time, I wasn't standing on a front porch with a duffel bag. I stood, walked to the hallway cabinet, and returned with a folder. I placed it on the table between us. "What's that?" my father asked. "Documentation," I said. I explained calmly. Years earlier, when I bought the house, I placed it into a trust. A standard protective structure my attorney recommended. It prevents unauthorized transfers, it shields against coercive claims. It requires my sole authorization and contains provisions triggered by attempted external pressure. They stared at me. I also documented every financial interaction between us since I turned 18. I continued. "Which is to say, there haven't been any." My mother's expression shifted first. Not anger, calculation. "You're overreacting," she said. "I'm prepared," I replied. My father leaned back, the first visible crack in his authority. "You'd take legal action against your own family." "I'd enforce boundaries," I said. "There's a difference." Silence settled heavily over the table. No shouting, no insults. Just the slow recognition that the dynamic they relied on no longer applied. "You're choosing property over your brother," my mother said quietly. I answered. "I'm choosing myself. The same way you told me to." That was the moment control shifted. Not dramatically. Not explosively. Just undeniably. They left not long after. No slammed doors, no threats, just a retreat. I watched their car disappear down the street and felt something unfamiliar. Not triumph, not revenge. Relief. Inside, the house felt the same. Floors still creaked. The refrigerator hummed unevenly. Nothing had transformed, but something internal had settled into place. Adulthood, I realized, was never about being abandoned. It was about building stability without permission. They were right about one thing all those years ago. I did figure it out. Just not in the way they expected.